everybody. I'd like to call this Joliet Township Board meeting to order for Tuesday, October 8th at 5:01 p.m. I'd like to start the Pledge of Allegiance. Clerk, can you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to ask for a roll call, please, Clerk Stephanie.
Yes. Trustee Arias?
Here.
Trustee Edwards?
Here.
Trustee Scutia?
Here.
Trustee Slattery?
Here.
Supervisor Morales?
Here. Okay, first on the agenda is minutes. I'd like an approval, somebody to motion for an approval for minutes of the regular town board meeting for September 10th of 2024.
So moved.
If there's no questions or comments on it.
Second.
Okay. Clerk, can you take the roll, please?
Trustee Scutia?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Public comment. Is there anybody here that would like to give any public comment? Okay, there being none, we can move on to new business. So we have a proclamation declaring Disability Employment Awareness Month. I'd like to ask one of our trustees if they'd like to volunteer to read it. Any volunteers? Anybody would like to? I'll do it. Yeah, okay.
Whereas in 1990, the Americans with Disabilities Act was signed into law. ADA is a civil rights legislation that works to increase the inclusion of people with disabilities in all aspects of community life, including employment. And whereas National Disability Employment Awareness Month is a nationwide campaign celebrating the skills and talents of workers with disabilities, bring to the workplaces. And whereas the month of October is designated to reflect the important role diversity plays in the workplace. And whereas Joliet Township government advocates respect and inclusion for every individual by demonstrating courtesy and civility in every endeavor. And whereas Joliet Township government pledges to promote and recognizes the diverse strengths of its residents and employees, and to value and celebrate the unique attributes, characteristics, and perspectives of every individual. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the trustees of Joliet Township government hereby proclaim the month of October as Disability Employment Awareness Month in Joliet Township government, adopted this 8th day of October 2024.
Okay. Any discussion? If I don't have discussion, I need a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have Trustee Arias making the motion and Trustee Slattery seconding. I can get a roll call.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Scutia?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, so the next one is the holiday schedule for Joliet Township government and the road district. The holiday calendar, this one is amended because the one that was in your packet had 2 errors on it. No, this one is good. The holiday calendar was good. Sorry, so this one is fine. The meeting schedule is the one that we had to amend. So if I can get a motion to approve the holiday schedule for 2025.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Scutia?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, and then the third item on the agenda is our board meeting schedule for 2025.
Well, do we
Yes.
approve the road districts,
Oh, well, we said the motion was for,
both of them?
yeah, it was for the Joliet Township government and the road district. The one that we just approved, yes. This third item on the agenda is the board meeting schedule for 2025 for Joliet Township government for these board meetings. The one that you have in front of you is not the same as what was in your packet. So we did amend it, but this is the correct schedule. I think for January and October, we had it the first Tuesday instead of the second. So that's been taken care of. So if we can, approve, I need a motion to approve this one unless there's any other discussion on it.
Second?
Roll call please.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Sklutnia?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next item on the agenda is, I had a meeting, and this was gonna be part of my supervisor's report. I had a meeting a couple weeks ago with, let's see here, so I can say the full name correctly. I met with a representative from the Township Officials of Illinois Risk Management Association, which is Tormont's, our insurance company. And this is a document, that came in many of the, in the folder, this folder here that you gave me with a lot of neat information that I shared with Human Resources, as one of our, cabinet members here. So this is a loss control policy that they are now asking townships to complete. It's loss prevention is everyone's responsibility. For this reason, all township officials are responsible for providing adequate resources and enthusiastic leadership to eliminate situations, conditions which could cause improper employment practices, injury and or property damage. So this is something that all trustees have to sign. I don't know if you saw the back of it or page 2. They're asking for the supervisor, the clerk, anyone that's an elected official that has to sign this form. So we're asking that this be approved in tonight's meeting, but before that, is there any discussion on this? If there's none, I just need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Can you take the roll call, please, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Before we do that, you read over this?
I'm not, no.
Okay.
If you want to review it, you wanna do a pending attorney review, I mean, it's from our insurance company, so they usually have their legal departments read these things before. But if it's the board's purview, if you prefer that our attorney read over it.
Yes.
We can approve it subject to attorney review and modification.
So we'll, the same as last time, we'll do a approval pending attorney review,
That's fine.
okay?
So do we have to redo the motion now?
Like a motion to approve the Torma loss control policy pending attorney review.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, can I get a roll call?
Yes. Trustee Sklutnia?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, next on the agenda is last month, we approved this contract pending attorney review. This is the amended copy with Attorney Lohner's comments being taken into consideration, so this is the amended one. So since it was approved pending your review, do we need to prove it again today?
We don't have to, as long as the other party is in agreement with my modification, but we certainly can.
Yes, well, it's on the agenda, so I would say we go ahead and,
There's no harm in approving it.
okay, so I just need a motion to approve it now that it's been reviewed by the attorney.
So moved.
Second?
Can you take the roll call, please?
Quick question.
Sure.
Does the date on the contract, does it have any impact? It can still say the 11th day of September?
It can, or you can,
That was the day after the
modify
vote.
with a pen.
Right. I just wanna
But
make sure. since
the
we
effective,
amended it.
the effective date of any agreement is when the parties mutually execute it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Roll call?
Yes. The second was Slattery, or Trustee Slattery? Okay. Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Sklutnia?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, so in your folders today, you should have a chart, just like we had last month with all of the regular grants. This one, however, has all of our senior grants. And know that, and I think maybe Ray can share a little bit more information. For years, the township has, one of the reasons we exist is to take care of our seniors and our youth and to prevent communicable diseases. So for years, these are the groups that have applied for grants. I've listed the amounts requested and the amounts approved. I did meet with our liaison, Mr. Wallace was here, and he can talk a little bit more on these. Mr. Wallace, I might need to call on you for a minute. So the senior grants that we're approving, some of these folks have asked for increases, a little bit like $500 more for the year. And that's because inflation has happened and their memberships are growing as well. So I did ask is moving forward if they could turn in their sign-in sheets of their activities, their events, and the addresses of the folks that are attending. Because while we encourage all seniors from everywhere in the state, across the state, our levy is for Joliet Township. It's from Joliet Township households, and it should be for Joliet Township seniors. But having said that, I don't want to turn away people if maybe they don't have a meeting in their own township, But we just want to make sure that the ratio is still, if 90% of the participants are township residents, and maybe we have a couple, I'm not going to turn them down because they have a couple people from Crest Hill or Lockport Township or New Lenox Township. But that's something that we are going to be monitoring. But that's what I've placed on here. There's only one group that has not applied, and that's listed on the bottom, and that is the only group that has not yet. Doesn't mean they won't. But as of right now, we haven't received the application, so you might see them at next month's meeting if they do apply. And then there was also in your packet a letter from Easter Seals. I don't know if you saw that, Tanya.
Thank you.
So one of the questions was that, well, I'll leave it for discussion. So at this point, I'll open the floor for discussion.
I have a quick question. I know in our board packet it said we were going to be presented with the Spanish Center and St. John Baptist Senior Club's applications. Do we have those?
Did St. John's bring theirs in today? Or yesterday?
They did, yes.
Do you have a copy of them?
Not on my.
They brought them to you?
Oh, they did.
They did? Okay. So they do have them? Do you have one there with you or not?
No, I just have a copy for us. That's what we give for the Easter seals.
Oh, so you didn't have that. Okay, so apparently they did bring them in, but I did talk to them, and these are the amounts that verbally they told me they would be. So you guys will have those. I can get those to you over this next couple of days, so you have them. As far as Easter seals, I know you had a question. Normally they serve children with autism, and I think you said you were on their board before, so it's mostly services for kids. And Trustee Arias had a great question. She asked, how are they helping seniors, because they're part of the senior grant. So this letter from Ms. Kandati does say that a lot of adults end up sometimes with developmental disabilities, and they are then treated as seniors. So we don't want to turn people away that have a disability if they need the service. I think we've been funding them for years, Easter Seals, since you've been here.
Yeah, no, they service adults also. They, adults that have strokes, they have occupational therapy for them, teach them how to speak. They are in that area. And it's not only children, it's also foster parents, training for them on how to handle kids. And, they have a pretty thorough, it's a pretty all-encompassing charity. People really don't understand how much they really do. And, and it's, I think it's well worthwhile, Easter Seals. And I think somewhere in their application, they listed that they have, I think, 14 million in total revenue. They do receive a lot of donations from foundations, from companies, foundations, from charities, and that's where most of their financing comes from. They do receive a nice amount from United Way. So they do go out and campaign, but I think most of the people they serve are from Joliet itself or Joliet Township. And they don't turn away anybody, so.
Right. Yeah, so especially for what we're giving them, I think it's a worthwhile, organization to donate to. So I don't know if that is satisfactory for you, Trustee Arias?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I just know them from all the youth programs and special needs. That's why I was like, let's make sure. And like how Ray said, a lot of people don't know all the resources they provide. So I felt like this was a good way to kind of open that up for them.
Well, just to go a little bit farther, in the past, I know we've had discussions at meetings on like Catholic Charities, because Catholic Charities serves 7 counties. So when we give them a grant, is that going to all 7 counties, or is that going to Joliet Township? And for a while there, you know, they couldn't really tell us where the money was going to because it was going into one bucket. But my understanding is now they do have better accounting, they can tell us where the money is going. And I think they have given us financial statements in the past. But like Alicia said, the money is part of the tax that from the senior levy that comes from Joliet Township, and the main people that should receive it should be Joliet Township residents. So, you know, so we have looked at things like that in the past, and I think that's what we have to do in the future also. And I noticed that the list keeps on getting a little bit bigger too, so it's gonna sort of stretch our budget a little bit, so.
Yeah. Well, so far, it's only been 2 new groups since our administration. It's only been the 2 non-English speaking groups, because before they were 100% excluded, and that's very unfair, because a lot of our township has people that buy properties, but they don't speak English, but they're paying taxes.
Right.
You know, so we have to extend, you know, honor their request as well. So I don't know if anybody has anything else for discussion they'd like to bring up. Oh, and then I think Trustee Edwards did make a good note. So on the application, SOAR, now remember, some of the people filling out the application are seniors, and they're like over 80 years old, and so they spelled it SORE instead of SOAR, which is for Steelworker Organization for Active Retirees, and we're not going to disqualify them because they spelled it wrong, or they misspelled it on the application. We know that they intended it to be, you know, SOAR.
Yeah, and just to clarify, the reason why I made that question is because the validity of it wasn't to exclude anybody. I just want to put that on the record. It was just a simple fact, if we're awarding things based on what we're calling it, are we matching up with, you know, what they're submitting in their documentation, that's all.
Yeah. But that was a good catch though, I appreciate that. Yeah, so I don't have anything else unless you guys have anything, any other questions? Okay. You got that, that's all I have. Oh, the
St.
Township, okay, got it, alright, that's St. John's.
This is St. John?
Yes, that's one of the ones that Patty said wasn't in the packet. So there's one other one. I know Yenny said she's sending it over. She said she would have sent it today, but because she's been teaching and she's taken on a lot more responsibilities and she is a teacher, she's running a little behind. But we'll have that for you guys within the next. If I get it, I should have it tomorrow. I can email it to you guys. Okay. Any discussion on what you received right now? Okay. There being no other discussion, I'd like a motion to approve the senior tax levy grants for Catholic Charities, Senior Companion Program and the Grandparent Program, Easter Seals, Joliet Area Retired Teachers, Joliet Low Senior Club, Spanish Community Center Latino Social Club, the National Hookup of Black Women, Senior Citizens Association, SOAR Retired Steelworkers, St. John the Baptist Senior Social Club, St. Joseph Parish Social Club, St. Ray's Cathedral Senior Club, St. Paul, the Paulites Senior Club, Widow and Widowers Group that held their meetings at Second Baptist Church, and Prairie State Legal Services. I'd like a motion to approve those senior grants tonight.
I'll make a motion to approve the senior grants, or senior levy grants. That's the motion.
Second.
The amounts listed in that table,
Yeah.
can we just reference in your motion that they be granted in the amounts as set forth in the table provided in the agenda packet?
Okay. The senior levy grants as listed on the Joliet Township Board meeting list of October 8th, 2024.
Thank you.
Second.
Can I get a roll call?
Yes. Trustee Snyder?
Aye?
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Scoopia?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. And then, last but not least, I'm gonna call Ivan up, and this will be part of his report also. Kill two birds with one stone, Ivan, to go over the, we have the fiscal policy manual and cost allocation plan that we're asking the board to adopt tonight.
Yeah, so both of these are two separate documents. I know I had mentioned earlier in the year, me and Anna had a review after our full year of being a grantee with IDHS. We had a review with them, based off their recommendations. They want us to write down actual policies and get them in place since we are expanding and the possibility of future grants. So the fiscal policy manual is just us writing down a lot of what we already do. How we do payroll, how we deposit cash, a bunch of stuff we already do, just getting it written down. The cost allocation plan is how we can split the cost. We already have experience with this as we have different funds. We have to make sure each expenses get properly reported to each fund. You're gonna see that every month. So that's also just getting it written down. In case we do have multiple grants, and we're writing down a plan on how we would allocate those expenses.
So I know you gave me an example the other day for so if we were running the CDI out of this building, how we would split, can you share that, unpack it a little bit further?
Yeah, so luckily we've been able to have another building, the Mitchell Center, but if all our departments were working out of the same building, the cost allocation plan basically says we would divide it based on square footage and expense it that way. It gives examples in the pack you guys have listed over. So it just gives ways and examples of how we would divvy up those costs to those grantees and grant funds.
How much of their grant is being used for cost based on square footage that they're using in our building? But we don't have to do that because they're in their own separate space.
Because then, like you said, as it continues to expand, things could change. So they just recommended that we get something written down.
And that it be adopted at a board meeting. Is there any discussion, questions?
On your fiscal policy, you have the capitalization threshold at 5,000.
Yeah.
Now, just to give an example, in today's packet for expenditures, you have two expenditures under the capital fund that are less than, I think, 2,000. Would they be capitalized or would they go into the regular fund now because they're under the 5,000? And if that's the case, that changes budgeting around a little bit.
They would be expensed in the current period. If you can show me examples, then we can go over it together. But
well, in the general town capital fund,
yeah,
I think the blinds that were purchased that were listed under that fund as
right.
expenditures, I don't think either expenditure was $2,000. Since the capital fund is for capital assets, and you're defining a capital asset as anything over $5,000,
right.
that would be treated as an ordinary expenditure.
That the blinds are a bigger part of an improvement process for the entire building. If you bundle it up with all the improvements that were made at the 180 building, then it would be significantly higher than that. It's just at the time it was paid, it was much later because blinds come after a lot. Blinds come after drywall and other items. So
that was a very good answer. I'll give you an A on that.
Blinds are, yeah.
Well, that's
big expenses are like.
Oh, he's correct on that though. Yeah, he's correct.
Alright. He's on top of it. I haven't, we have a lot of.
Well, I taught accounting for a couple of
I
years.
know. Yeah, we're glad you're here. Any other discussion on these policies? No? Okay, can I hear a motion to adopt the fiscal policy manual and the cost allocation plan?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Now, can you take the roll call, please?
Yes. Trustee Stupia?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Do you have anything else that?
yeah, it's not just like us. It's not like a specific Joliet Township thing. We had a accounting policies overview webinar today. Actually, they probably found similar situations with other grantees and realized it was a need. So that's they had webinars and are assessing the issue, and we're just trying to get on top of it, so.
Now, was any of this involved with the federal regulations on single audits?
They didn't mention any of that reasoning for that, but it does affect our audit.
Did we have any of that in our past audit this year? What audit?
No, this is the first year that we're gonna have a single audit, so based due to the grant, so, which also brings me to, our audit has been extended. I went to the controller's website and did extend that to give John more time. It's a lot more than he's probably used to, with the grants. He just wants to make sure he gets everything, cross his T's, dot his I's.
So with grants, you have, and if it's involving federal money, there's a threshold, but if it involves federal money, then you have what is called the single audit that's fed in accordance with federal regulations. And that's more of a procedure audit, I would call it, than with the numbers itself. And it's very time consuming.
Tedious, yeah. John was excited to take that over. So the extension is to November, but we're confident it'll be done before that. Any other questions? Nope.
All good. All right.
Thank you, Evan,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
You gonna give him that A? You gonna give him that A?
Yeah.
Oh, A+.
Great, alrighty.
Trying to get him.
Yes, okay, so next, I know behavioral health has a session soon, we have to go do therapy in a little bit, so we're gonna move on to reports and have Heidi come up and, present. Wait,
Yeah.
did you do the roll call for the CASA application? Did we do a roll call for that?
Yes, we did.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, we did.
Okay, sorry.
Alright, good evening everyone. So reporting on behavioral health. So this last month of September, we had 8 new clients and 34 existing clients. I'm currently undergoing my consultations for the EMDR and TFCBT training to be able to be completely done with my trainings and that treatment modalities. Carissa, she has successfully completed her SANTRAIN and EMDR consultations, which makes her officially trained in EMDR and TFCBT. We continue to work with Rockdale. Both Carissa and I maintain full caseloads of 4 students each that we're each providing 4 hours to the high schools and to Rockdale. In addition to that, we have officially also begun providing counseling services to Joliet Central and Joliet West. That was done at the end of the last week of September. I currently have 2 clients at Joliet and 1 at Central, and Carissa has 3 students at each location. This month, we also delivered a community presentation on trauma awareness titled Hope and Healing. We were able to serve 12 members in the community, and we shared a little bit of our program, the treatment modalities that I explained that we offer, and how our body responds to trauma. So we plan on doing that every quarter to just provide more awareness on trauma in the community. We also were able to provide a group presentation to the youth at a church and received really good feedback. So we're hoping to continue that and extend it, like I said, each quarter. I am also very excited to announce that I'm going to be partnering with Alejandra Zamudio, which is the caseworker. And we're going to be providing a presentation for Spanish-speaking audience here in the, at Spanish Center. So if you guys would definitely please, yes.
You have this in your packet.
So if you guys can please help us promote that, I really want to make sure that our Spanish speakers are able to understand how trauma happens in the body and to be able to provide those services. Now, like I said, that I can provide those counseling services for the parents and with the kids. So that's going to be something that Alejandra and I are going to be collaborating on this Thursday at Spanish Center.
I think we included in your packet a calendar of events for October, and I think this is one of them, but this is the flyer. We did an English one already.
Yes, that's Hope and Healing. That one was in September as well.
So the English one took place in September, and then this is the Spanish, same exact one, but this is only Spanish speaking. That's coming up in October. Thank you. And Alejandra is the bilingual caseworker in general assistance, different department from hers, but they're kind of
Collaborating.
collaborating, working together. Any questions?
I was just curious on sort of the impact you guys are having when it comes to specifically the high schools, because I'm frankly I'm unaware of the behavioral and mental health services that they already had. Whereas we look for something like Rockdale, I imagine you folks were some of the first people to tap.
Right.
Whereas I'm not sure if we need to, and eventually I'm not talking about offloading some of the cases you already have. I want to see students you already have see their help through. But what sort of relationship are we going to have with the high schools and their teams? Like, do they have already enough staff and you sort of are just supplementing things, or is it a case of we are eventually going to have to take a closer look at how much investment we have into the District 204?
Right. So currently, we're the counselors there can provide like the normal therapy modalities, I want to say, and we're more just going in trauma focused. So they refer us the people that have suffered like from the shootings or have any other kind of trauma related issues. So we're mostly tackling on those clients. And then the community is overall, we're serving just more trauma informed. So that's the distinction between the services that counselors at the schools can provide and the ones that we can provide.
Okay. Thank you. That was my only question.
Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you, Nini. Yeah.
Okay, and I know that somebody else has to leave her too, Becky from Animal Control.
So I know the last meeting I sort of touched on some of the things that we are doing for the community. One of them being Community Helper Week at daycare in Joliet. So in September, myself and one of the animal control officers went to a home which is called Kathy's Kids Daycare. And the officer and I brought several animals to engage with the kids. And then we kind of explained to them more topics as to like the different animals' behaviors, what to do if they encounter a stray dog, how to pet an animal safely. They all seem to enjoy it very much. We brought chickens with us, we brought dogs, a couple of kittens. So it's always good to reach the kids at an early age, as we all know, because kids are they want to go up and pet things and touch things. So we used to do a lot more of this in the past, and I feel like this is something we need to do a little bit more of, just reaching out to the kids at different schools and stuff like we used to. And then at the end, each child received a coloring book that gave them, a little bit more. It's kind of easier for kids to color and see those kinds of things. The other thing was we had another event we were invited to, Rock on Shanahan. It was held in memory of Allison Rivera. The event raised funds for the Allison Rivera Fund, and we were also given a generous donation of $500. It was granted to Joliet Township Animal Control by the Community Foundation of Grundy County, and we're planning on putting these funds towards 6 animal adoptions. This will cover our adoption fee and also all of their medical. In addition to that, the family contributed 10 $50 PetSmart gift cards. So we've given some of those out, but for the 6 animals that we're planning on using this the $500 grant towards, we're going to also provide those $50 PetSmart gift cards to them. I also sent an acknowledgement letter to Allison's grandmother on behalf of the township too. And I think I emailed and put that in an email to Supervisor Morales. Anna, Angel, and myself have discussed a memorial board to go up at Animal Control Building. We do have several people that donate to us in memory of certain people, and it's quite a bit of money. So we're trying to come up with some sort of board with like plaques and stuff that will have the names of each individual, person that it's in memorial of. And then that way, the families, we can reach out to them, they can, come to the facility and see that. We'll send pictures of it, that sort of thing. And that's because so many people want to support animals, and even in their death, they're writing up their wills to say that any money that they receive, go to us. And we had some last year. A gentleman by the name of Lee Holderson, which a lot of people do know who he is in the community. He, in memory of him, it was over $1,000 that people donated to our facility. So, in talking about that, I would say that approximately, give or take, $100 or $200, we receive about $3,000 in donations annually, and that's thanks to PayPal. Contributions, we get those daily. I get emails for daily contributions, memorial funds, and then just individuals passionate about animal welfare. So I recently spoke to Supervisor Morales and also Ivan, and more of the employees at Animal Control. We see the funds come in, but we're not able to see, where they go because they are donations. I talked to Ivan about this and how he said that it goes into the general animal control fund. So it's just a general fund. But on our end, we have a spreadsheet since 2019 of how much we have received in donations. So after speaking with them, I think what we've come down to is we'll maintain the donation separately. So we'll keep a log of it. We'll make sure Ivan has a log of everything that we have, and then I feel like it will allow us to go a little bit further with medical treatments. We do already treat animals, but this will give us a little bit more leeway when it comes to things that we may not usually provide for some of the animals, such as x-rays for animals with suspected fractures. A lot of times we'll send them to the vet if our vet suspects that there may be a fracture. He then says, okay, this animal needs rescue right away. We tell our rescue exactly whoever's going to pull the dog or cat from us, exactly what's going on with that animal, and then they will, this way they'll have more information. They'll be able to look at the x-rays, and then also what it will do is we post everything. We post all of our animals that are for rescue. We have a specific Facebook page for that. So then we'll be able to put in our Facebook post that it is, that the x-ray was donated by, our generous donators. And a lot of our donators follow us on Facebook. So I feel like we need to make sure that they know that these funds, not any specific person, just to know that these x-rays are going out to, that their funds are being used, which we haven't done that in the past. And I feel like that's very important for them to see that this is happening. It's the same thing for adoptions. If we have seniors, if we have a dog a cat that's been there a long time, we can pull that money from the donation fund and also put in their post, just our general Facebook page, to say that the animal is completely vetted and adoption fees are taken care of, provided by our generous donators. So I think that will, basically what I'm thinking is it will increase our adoption rates, and it will enhance the transparency. It just will allow the community to see the direct impact of their contributions. Sharing donation stories when posting adoptable and rescue animals can only increase our yearly donations when people see their funds are being used. And then also on top of that, we normally do send thank you cards, but we can also incorporate maybe even a picture or something to send out to the people that, that have donated. And then just supporting animal welfare, just to, like I said, expand on the health and stuff for our animals. I do have a form that we're gonna plan on using, so these funds won't it will have to be okayed through our supervisor, the director, And, you know, it will be a form that will make sure that, you know, I then has, Alicia has, so that everything is documented, and Whitney or myself will be the one to approve that. So I do have a request form that I'll go over with Supervisor Morales to make sure that you know, it looks good. Let's see. Oh, this is the last thing. I know I have a lot, but
Okay.
last week we had with the Hurricane Helene, we had Whitney, who's the director, contact us. It was kind of last minute, and she said her husband was leaving to go to South Carolina. So we quickly put out a post for everybody in the community, and it was amazing. The people that came and donated, and dog food, cat food, litter, carriers, everything. So we put as much as we could in his truck, and he took it off to South Carolina. There was a drop-off point because there's a lot of areas you can't still get into, but a lot of us are on, you know, Facebook pages for ASPCA, and it's, you know, the people, it's very sad what they're all going through, and then the animals on top of it are just, you know, just everywhere. So we're hoping that our small little bit of donations will help somewhere. And then the last thing I wanted to say is that Whitney will be back next week. I am more than happy to hand back over the reins to her. Yeah, so this, I don't know if this will be my last month here, but I've enjoyed giving these hearing or these meeting highlights. So, anybody have any questions? No?
All great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Becky, appreciate it. Next, I'm gonna ask our transportation coordinator, Jackie Smith, because I know she lives kind of far away, so she might have to leave soon also.
Good evening, everyone. Transportation has been very busy. For the month of September, we completed 466 trips. Since our last newsletter, the senior calls have been a huge influx. A lot of them are calling for information, calling to schedule trips. We've had 2 calls. One resident, she's at Senior Suites. She's 87 years old, and she's just absolutely thrilled that this service is provided for her, and she doesn't have to worry about an Uber or her own vehicle or not being able to get to her doctor's appointments. So every time she calls to schedule a trip, I hear about the same story, and she's very, very excited. We are currently fully staffed again. We did hire 3 new candidates, 2 of which has already completed the PACE training, and then we have 3 more candidates going into the October PACE training, so we will be fully staffed again, so we are very excited about that. With Riverwalk Food Pantry, we do those deliveries every Wednesday. We capped out at 25, and we have a new contact over at Joshua Arms, who is assisting us with the drop-off deliveries on Wednesdays, and we increased their delivery to 15. We are currently serving 9 residents there. So we are very excited, and so is Josh Arms and Riverwalk to increase that to 15. With having 1 location and then our contact distributing the boxes to the residents, it makes it much more easier, so that way we don't have to go to a door-to-door. So we're hoping to see an increase with all of the senior buildings like that. If we can get that 1 central location, then we can increase that number gradually. Also, we've increased our transportation with the Will Gurney Medical Clinic. They were a little hesitant to use our services at first, but now they are really, really increasing it, and they are very satisfied. And we are, with us getting in more drivers, we told them that we could potentially have a standby driver, so that way if someone comes into the clinic and need immediate assistance, we should be able to help accommodate that as well. Any questions?
I just wanted to, I was at Kiwanis Club yesterday, and so it was, I forgot what the organization is, but the president of Kiwanis was like, well, that sounds like something the township can help. So you're probably going to be getting a call from another organization, because they just brought that up yesterday. The lady was really excited because she was saying the Uber thing wasn't working with her group, and you know, it wasn't reliable, and they said Uber people were getting lost. Don't know how that's happening, but I guess so. They're probably going to be calling you too. So, and there was other organizations there. They're like, oh, what do they do? So, yeah, you're going to be hiring. So, but good, right? Because if it's in a community, that means you guys are doing the right thing, and so like people are satisfied with your service. So, great job.
Yes, we get tons and tons and tons of compliments.
So I want to just expand a little bit more on it, just so that maybe sometimes people don't know what questions to ask, and I know Tanya works with county, and maybe you hear about the counties, and maybe you might hear about the county has a Dial-A-Ride program, and I think other townships use it as well. So we also we invest in the Will County Dial-A-Ride program with ACE. So the township invests in that program, but we don't manage that. Okay, that's not something. So we have a program similar to Dial-A-Ride, but it's not Dial-A-Ride, where it's also for seniors and people with disabilities, but it's for Joliet Township residents only. We do ask for a $2 donation, and we do go, I think, 10 miles
Yes.
out of township boundaries, 10 miles for the seniors and people with disabilities. That's that program, which is kind of like the county, but it's not. So we manage ours, right? But then we also have the other program that Jackie mentioned, which is the partnership, where from organization to organization, your organization has a finance line item to pay an Uber. You don't want to pay Ubers, you can then pay us. And that is for everybody, as long as they're Joliet Township residents, right?
No,
everybody.
That's for anyone.
Okay, that's for, and that's the one that people are hearing so much about. And everybody's like, and it's working well. So we're very excited that, that we, under Angel's leadership, he saw this, and it was at least 2 years going back and forth, negotiating conversations with PACE, what are the limitations, what is the liability, how do we do this? It took a long time to get here, but we're here, and we're expanding and growing, and Jackie has a lot of experience. You used to do this before in another job, right?
Similar.
Similar.
School bus.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're very excited that the program continues to grow, and that Jackie's doing a great job with managing it. So thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank you.
So I hope that kind of helped a little bit with you guys, so you guys know what. So if people ask you, I want you to be well equipped on how to kind of explain that. Okay. Okay. So next on our agenda, I will have Mr. Bracheski, our assessor. Franceschi, right?
What was I doing? No. It's coming to an end as far as our hearings. We've had, come September, people have 30 days to file complaints on my assessments, and I'm right. No. But when all the appeals start coming in, we look them over. If they've got if they made a good case, we'll call them and settle with them, so they don't have to go to the hearing. So I've got 3 more left, 1 residential and 2 commercial, and I'm going to be done for the year, and we regroup and start all over again. So we can get ready to start with 25 assessments. So it's cyclical. Nice thing is everybody's enjoying it. So
Thank you. Thank you so much. I see. I don't know. Is anybody here for violence prevention? Oh, Keisha, you're here. Sorry. Okay. I didn't see you earlier.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Violence prevention, the community violence intervention program has been a part and canvassed all of the shootings that happened in the last 2 weeks. I do want to bring highlight to the 2 pop-up events that we had. We had a pop-up event on 9/6 at the football field near Mission Boulevard. That is an area that we don't frequently visit, but we were able to get an immediate response over there and to speak to the residents and encourage the residents to take
the CVI information back to their homeowners association to let them know that we are here for support. I haven't received any callbacks from that space, but we'll continue to follow up. We also did a pop-up on 10/4 at the Mitchell Center to provide support and awareness to the South End. We also have a partnership with Compass Employment Agency to provide felony-friendly job opportunities to our clients as well as the community members of our 3 on-site application opportunities. We've provided the agency with over 30 people. We are still awaiting the count for the people who have been hired thus far, but I know that we have had some successful applicants. We have an upcoming event for that on 10/17. We also have a partnership right now with Joliet Township Transportation to be able to pick up from 2 locations to get more clients there and community members. There will be 1 pickup location on West, which will be at Tony's Food Market, and the other location will be East at Riverwalk. Both location time pickups is at 9 a.m. We will then offer a round trip service for them to be able to go back to those drop-off locations at 12. But we do want to let everyone know that we are only able to take the first 10 people. And then the locations will stay in the space of East and West, but those locations will change and it will always be updated on the flyers that we have going out. And then our last thing, I know last month,
I was waiting.
I'm gonna follow up. Last month we brought highlight to our outreach worker, Mr. Daniels, and we were requested that he is here. So I want to have him here in celebration and receive his flowers in person. So please come up so you can have this conversation and be a celebrator. We are truly, truly appreciative of the heroic act that, he had last month in the community where he utilized the Stop the Bleed training that he took to save the life of one of the youth that were hit at the Cuddy's store across from Riverwalk. So we really want you to know how we are appreciative of your heroic act and just be here to be in this space of appreciation. You have anything you want to say?
Do you guys have any questions?
I don't have a question, but as a former law enforcement professional, now director of safety and security professionally, to get people to want to do the training. Sometimes it's like a mandatory that you have to do it right, and sometimes we do it, but to get people to want to do it and then take the training serious is twofold. But then if you actually have to apply it, even the best struggle with, how to do certain things. And so on my level of profession, like I said, I have to acknowledge you because, again, I know it's tough to want to do it, take it seriously, and if you have to apply it, because sometimes we think we will never have to do something like that. And so when the time happens, I know that family appreciates your efforts, and I just wanted us from the township to acknowledge you and to say, thank you for what you're doing. Hopefully you don't have to do it again, right? That's what we're trying to, prevent violence. But just wanted to say thank you in person for your heroic efforts, and like so bad for the township trustees. We definitely appreciate you and your work very much.
Thank you so much. And they can cook too. You guys
Oh,
yeah. That's really well done.
Come back next week.
Okay, he's a great cook. Okay, and then can I call our Violence Prevention Council Coordinator, Ms. Hudson?
Yes.
Next.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello, everyone. I just want to announce that we have 6 new members of the REAL, the Racial Equity Impact Assessment League, and that is as of today. As of today, I just recruited, just recruited Sam's Club, our local Sam's Club. He's also a part of the New Lenox Safe Community Council, which the REAL is now a part of, and also the New Lenox Safety Council is a part of the REAL as well, which is headed and coordinated by Dan Martin, who is a fantastic trainer, a fantastic community person, and he has over 30 years of law enforcement
background. He used to be the chief of police for New Lenox. He used to be in the gang unit, not in the gang unit. He used to be
We know what you mean.
in Chicago. He was also FBI trained. He used to be on SWAT, and he's also a part of a lot of policing authority organizations, and he hosts his council, which has about 130 members, and then 90 organizations, including now Joliet Township Rio as well. The National Tube Supply, they are a part of the Rio. Lockport Township Government, Nonviolent Cities Joliet, the Will County Health Department, and the Community Health 708 Board. They are now very new members of the Rio. Last week, I visited the SOS Village, the Children's Village in Lockport, and that was very, very tremendous. So now I am trying to coordinate and partner them with the Salvation Army because they have, unfortunately, a loss of sponsors and a loss of money and funds, and so the Salvation Army is willing to also help them with supplying all of their children, which is 61 now, but it will be 68 at the end of the year with all the children having toys. So that would be fantastic. In addition to, I just want to, like I said earlier, congratulate Supervisor Morales, Janet, now that you're here. Stephanie. They are now CERT members through the New Lenox Council, the New Lenox Safe Community Council, which is the only safe community council in the United States. They're the only one left. So we are a part of that, and we are now trained to do triage and trauma and any disaster universally. So we're able to assist in those areas as well. So congratulations, you all.
You too.
Thank you.
We graduated Saturday. We took for the last 4 weeks. We've been going twice, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 at night, every Tuesday and Thursday. And this past Saturday, we had a scenario where it was a tornado that swept by, and there were like 40 bodies all over. We had to find them, triage them. I was applying bandages. I was doing the medical because I can't fit. Like my medical condition doesn't allow me to like be that active. Otherwise, I'd be lifting people.
Oh no! You should have seen her on that tarp.
I was part of the transport, so I was helping lifting bodies. I was helping.
Yeah,
So we
were in the
graduated.
trees and the bushes. They were all over the place. But then we had an actual real life emergency where one of the volunteers, the victims, she had a seizure.
Okay.
So we had to have. We can't say actual EMT because we're actual as well. So they had to have the EMT come and take her, and her mom. So that was pretty exciting as well. Any questions?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And just so you guys have a better understanding, so there's 2 different grants. So Keisha Ellis' department works out of one grant. Lachey's a different grant. They both report to me, but they both work together. So Lachey's job is mostly to build this coalition and then to elevate the township to the state level. So that's, I don't know if it was ever kind of broken down to you guys that way, but okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, general assistance, Patricia. She's like, I thought you'd never call me.
Forgot.
No.
I want to start with the kudos to the transportation department because we had 2 incidents last week where they really saved me. We had a lady that came in looking for assistance. She took a bus to get here. She was an elderly woman. And unfortunately, she lived in Plainfield Township, and the next bus going out that way wasn't for another 3 hours. My lobby chairs are not 3 hours worth of comfortable. So I called upstairs to Jackie and asked her if we had a driver, and she found a driver, and we got her taken back home. And then at the end of the day, I think it was on Thursday or Friday, we had a homeless woman come in, and somebody had stolen her inhalers. They stole her jacket that had the inhalers in it, and the police department had given her what she needed, but she needed to get to Walmart to get the inhalers. And I called Jackie, and again, Jackie found me a driver and got her to Walmart to get her inhalers. So, I mean, that program is just like amazing. It's invaluable.
So, in general assistance, Sue attended the Joliet Township High School recruitment breakfast. The purpose of that breakfast was to create partnerships with the community, to provide volunteer or internship opportunities to students. And while she's got nothing really to do with the internships that we do here on a township level, she's so active with all the veteran organizations that it was a way for her to kind of get a little more information to hopefully get some kids over to help with the vets. We've had a steady flow of clients requesting rental and utility assistance. Once again, water disconnects seem to be at the top of the list. You know, Erica's still trying to get us a meeting with the city so we can talk to them about that. And really all we're looking for is just a little bit of a policy change. You shouldn't let somebody get 6, 7, 8 months behind in a bill and then think that you can send them across the street and get that whole bill paid, because it just doesn't work that way. I've been receiving a lot of calls, and I started scheduling the seniors for their SHIP appointments, so that's going to be an interesting 6 weeks. And then other than that, it's just business as usual.
Any questions? Thank you, Patricia. Okay. And then on the water bill that you mentioned, so I will be having Erica Holmes, our HR director, has been working, and we had an appointment today, but it had to be postponed. So we're going to meet with the city of Joliet, folks in charge of the water billing, to see how can they maybe, how can we work together to maybe not allow people to go 7 months getting that far behind, because our bills are coming in at, what's the highest you've got, like $5,000?
We've had about 5,000, yeah.
Of a water bill.
When the water bill's 5,000, I can't help you.
Yeah, cities is working on that. I know they passed very new ordinances or whatever, so let me know if you need a contact.
Okay, thank you.
What Allison?
I have another one.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I like your contact.
Yeah. Okay, great. So then I will have Mr. Wallace.
Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Since we met last month, I've been getting people, vets, to sign up at all these senior groups that I go to, because our luncheon is going to be November 1st at the Moose Lodge at 12 o'clock. I got basically everything wrapped up except for, I'm still looking for some entertainment. I passed out the senior service calendars for October, November, December for Weber Road, the Ovation Center, and the one on Center Street. I've been talking about our rideshare program often. I had 2 residents call since the last meeting. They needed my help, and actually I couldn't help them, so I sent them to a couple places that I thought could. After talking with Alicia and Anna and Stephanie actually last week about getting my groups to sign up, have a sign-up sheet when they go in, when they come in, and their address. Now, a couple places have sign-up sheets, but they don't have addresses. So I've already talked to 3 presidents, and it's not going to be a problem. I will see the president of the Senior Citizens Association Thursday, which is our biggest group. So I'm going to have them start putting the addresses on there. Hopefully, all these groups that I see, I'll start receiving those probably in their November meetings. Either that, if they got it soon, done soon, I'm going to give them that number to send it to that Alicia gave me. We sat down at the same day, we talked about the senior grants like you guys discussed and voted on. Out of the 3 groups, I suggested an increase. One was St. Joe's. The reason why is because up until like April or May, they were getting 60 people at a meeting. Now they're getting 100. The retired teachers, needed Al's, they haven't had an increase since in quite a while. And the menus have went up a couple times since then. So they raised the seniors used to pay $20, then we'd pay some. So now they're paying $22 and basically the same thing. And the last group that I thought needed some money is the Widow and Widowers from Second Baptist Church. They do go out to like see shows a couple times a year, but it's just what they do for the community. I mean, they have like a food pantry every Thursday. I know Jewel Asco donates a lot of their food, and the food pantry, everybody food pantry, donates a lot. When I'm there, like this Sunday or Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, they'll have tables laid out with all kinds of food. I mean, that's all Jewel Asco. So it's, those are the three groups that I thought could use some money. I just want to say it's a pleasure to work for the town board and the elected officials and all the staff that I work with. It's really a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Okay, and I think Erica is part of your. Yes. Yes,
Yeah, I
Ms.
think I'm
Holmes. Yes.
Okay.
You want to come on up? Our human resource manager.
Not like me.
She's a guest. No, not Jill. Actually, she's a good Yes. She went through the cert training with us.
Hi, good evening. Alright, so updates from HR. We got a benefits fair coming up on Monday and Tuesday of November 18th and the 19th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for all staff. The following vendors will be in attendance: is Blue Cross Blue Shield, IMRF, Torma, Midland State Bank, and different facets. They're going to come in with easy banking, also with helping our staff understand a different, another form of saving, which is a 457B retirement plan. I'll be sending out surveys for that to see how many people are interested in having that, and that'd be our part-timers as well as our full-timers will be able to utilize that particular plan if they're interested. Open enrollment is fastly approaching, so get prepared for that. Department head meeting. So we had an interdepartmental meeting this morning. Now moving forward, we will change that to once a month for interdepartmental, and then the other Tuesday will be for department heads. We're going to level set in the next department head meeting so that the supervisor, Alicia Morales, along with our department heads, are all on the same pages with our new policies and procedures that are being implemented daily. And along with our handbook, that's what legal right now being reviewed. It will come to you once legal is done with it because we had to make a lot of changes. Illinois has added some things, and we took away some things due to the pandemic. We're not in that anymore, so the handbook will look significantly different. And that is it for me for this part.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Holmes. I appreciate it. Clerk, Stephanie.
Good evening.
Good evening.
In the clerk's office, I've been answering to incoming FOIA requests. There's actually a bid for treated salt with the road district. That's actually happening this Thursday, 1:30 p.m. in this boardroom. I'm also working with the highway commissioner on gathering documents from a resident to set up hearings to vacate 2 roadway properties. Other than that, it's been business as usual.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so last, I know Vince said he was not able to come out today. So as far as my report for the supervisor, so I think all of you received the calendar of events, right? There's one event that wasn't included here, but is stapled to the back that I just kind of want to highlight. It's for October 23rd. That's an event that we've been working on. Anna, thank you so much. We've been working with an organization called Sharing Connections, where they're going to be offering 50 cribs, mattresses, twin mattress, box sets, linens, and baby items and it's for $100 for 50 people. That's going to be held over at our Forest Park Community Center on October the 23rd. So this is something that we are working to get the word out for people. They are responsible for taking the crib in their own vehicle back home. We're not transporting furniture to their home, but they can come out to the Forest Park, pay their $100, and get a brand new crib with mattress and everything I mentioned. So that event is not in the other one because we just sealed the deal recently. Another event that I believe we mentioned before, but we are capping you again, is the Active Threat and Mental Wellness Conference is coming up in November. So the City of Joliet invested in this also with the City of Joliet. And this lines up because everyone is talking about the gun violence, and this is an active threat for gun violence and mental wellness. Everyone's talking, cities, different organizations, schools, the city, the fire department, township. How can we do better to prevent this? Because it's costing so much on the back end, for an emergency room, gunshot wound. It's just the cost is outrageous. So we are part of this conference. I just wanted to bring that to your attention again in case, if you guys want to register and participate in that. I did mention that I met with somebody from Torma, and we did a comprehensive insurance review a couple weeks ago. On September 21st, I did have the honor of speaking at the Nonviolent Cities International Day of Peace at Joliet Central. I know some of our trustees were there as well. And then it ended up we did a peace walk with Doug's group as well. Last month, our media specialist, Isabel, Gloria, Clerk Stephanie and I, we finalized our nonprofit organization. We visited the nonprofits that we awarded checks to. So we finished all of our grants. We went to see them. We took photos with them because we definitely want to highlight the organizations that we're helping. On September 27th, Angel and I did attend the Real REIAL Connections in Prevention Conference in Naperville, where our very own Lachey Hudson, she was awarded the Collaborative Excellence in Prevention Award for the state of Illinois. So our program, our staff are getting state level recognition for the work they're doing. And then last week, one of our violence intervention supervisors, Chris Sherrod, who reports to Keisha, he and I presented at the Cunningham neighborhood meeting. They invited us to go out and talk about, what it is that we're doing, because one of their neighbors, I guess there was a shooting in the area, and we had our staff, we had boots on the ground immediately, and they were passing out flyers, talking to neighbors, how can we support you, what do you guys need? And they were so impressed that they got a flyer and they gave it to John Sheridan. And then he's like, what's this? He goes, let me call him over to, talk about what we're doing. So Chris gave a presentation about what the program is. So what we decided is to go out to different neighborhood organizations and speak with them about what we do tomorrow with St. Pat's. And then we're going to be going to Collins Street. Just giving you a heads up, Tanya. Before. So eventually one of your future meetings. Yes. And then for the Forest Park Community Center, the cleaning will be completed this week. They're on their dumpster, of a large dumpster of just purging things that they no longer needed. So the cleaning is going to be completed this week. It's been ongoing for the last week or so. And we are on schedule for internet connection on Monday, October 14th. That was the quickest that Comcast could get us on. So it will be happening, not done with that day. And then I did also attend the Joliet Township High School recruitment breakfast that Patricia talked about. She did send one of her staff members, and I went there with our transportation coordinator, with Jackie, and then we did networking, and after the meeting, we ended up speaking with some of the ladies for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they have a program for pregnant moms. And so we are currently working on a memo of understanding, an MOU, to help with transportation services that they need. So another client came out of just that networking meeting, a recruitment breakfast at the high school. Who would have thought, right? But I asked Jackie, why don't you attend? I think it's something you should go out and just hear if there's any needs, and if there's an opportunity, let's do it. And sure enough, we ended up walking away with a prospective client. So last month, you received an update from our cemetery liaison. The digital software project that we invested in is almost complete. Unfortunately, things happen, and people need cemetery services. Our residents need affordable cemetery services, and so What we're doing is we're looking into the land viability over at Oakwood Cemetery, because we have a lot of land in the back that's not used right now. So we're looking at the land viability to possibly open it for new burials. We currently do have burials, but it's for people that already own, you know, lots.
Prepaid.
Yes, prepaid. So we do them for those, but we're looking at possibly for new ones in the future moving forward at a very reasonable cost for people, because it's, I mean, when you lay somebody to us, it's expensive. And especially Woodlawn, most of these cemeteries are now being run for for-profit corporations. They're no longer by the churches. And they're super expensive. So we're looking at, we're going to be looking at that down the line. So I wanted to just give you guys a heads up. And the reason we're going to pursue this is that we already paid for cemetery maintenance with the lawn mowing, and there's no incoming revenue that we're receiving. So it's literally going to, right now it's costing us money, and we're not generating any revenue. So there is no negative cost to the township by doing this, as it would greatly benefit the community. So just putting that out there. And then in your packets, we're also giving you October, November, and December calendars for, this is the Senior Services of Will County and the activities that they're doing. So you have these in case you know any seniors that need services from Senior Services of Will County. I wanted you guys to have that as well. That concludes my report at this time. And I will be asking, we do have on the agenda a closed session. So in the interest of time, I'd like to then ask for a motion to go into. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. No. We have to do the receipts. I'm ready to go into. Okay. Never mind. I always skip receipts for some reason.
Can we skip that? I have to leave in 4 minutes.
Sure. Oh, skip the closed session or the receipts?
No, the receipts. You
Oh,
can do that
come back after? Okay. All right. No, that's fine. So let's do that then. Let's go ahead and move into closed session. So the reason I'd like to request a motion for closed session for 2C1, which is for employment, discipline, compensation, performance, dismissal of employees. 2C11 to discuss litigation, and 2C5 to purchase or lease of real estate property. If I can get a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. A voice vote. Can you take a voice vote?
Yes, I'm going to take a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed?
Okay. So we are not taking any action on anything that we discussed in executive session. So at this point, we can go ahead and continue with the approval of receipts.
I'd like to make a motion that we place the cash receipts for September into their proper accounts.
Second.
Okay. Trustee yes. Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Scutia?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving on to cash disbursements, I'd like to make a motion that we approve $454,168.69 of cash disbursements for September, and certify them for payment and go ahead and pay.
Did you specify which expenditures that was from?
General Town.
Hold on.
Second.
Trustee Slattery?
Roll call, please.
Yes. Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Scutia?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving on to the Joliet Township General Town Capital Fund, I'd like to make a motion that we certify the cash receipts for September of $6,124.70 and approve them for payment.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Arias? as correct $29,573.34 for the month of September, and approve them for payment.
Second.
Roll call.
Yes. Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Scutia?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving on to Road and Bridge, I'd like to make a motion that we certify as correct cash disbursements of $978,068.43 for the month of September and approve them for payment.
Second.
Roll call? Yes, trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Escudero?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving on to Animal Control, I'd like to make a motion that we certify as correct cash disbursements of $77,993.36 and approve them for payment.
Second.
Roll call? Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Escudero?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And there was no disbursements for the senior fund.
Okay. All right, so at this point, I just need a motion to adjourn.
I do have one question.
Sure.
Ivan, if you could, I just wanted clarification. I wish you would have still been here. This, with the animal control, could you just elaborate on what she's attempted to say, or were we talking about keeping track or whatever? Is going to be some policy based on, if people are donating hard cash dollars, like what does that look like, and what is ultimately the overall goal for that?
So before it was kind of hard to do it since we have to do it on a budget and there has to be an expense line item for that.
Mm-hmm.
The way we're gonna go forward with it now is we're gonna have on the income side, it's gonna be a line item. It's gonna be instead of just animal receipts, it's gonna be a donation line item.
Okay.
So whenever I transfer that money over from PayPal or when I do cash receipts and I notice it's a donation, it'll go to that line item, and then when we want to pay something out, it'll just come out of that income line item, because it's hard to budget for an expense that we don't know if we're gonna get approved throughout the year or how much donations we're gonna receive throughout the year. So it'd be tedious to put it as an expense line item. I think that's why it wasn't done before, but we're gonna try it out this way. So it's just gonna be an income line item. So let's say we get $1,000 donated, it's gonna go in there. We'll have $1,000, and then under normal circumstances, if some procedure wouldn't get approved under like normally, and they're like, okay, we have $1,000 in this, we'll move it out there. So if we pay $200 out of there, it'll be only $800 there left on the income side. So it'll never go negative because they can't do.
Okay.
So it's only gonna be able to spend up to what that line item has received throughout the year.
Okay.
And I told Becky to start from this fiscal year. So donations that were earlier, she wanted to add. I told her just to start from our fiscal year because that's how that's how it's going to be. We can't. So
got it. Okay.
That's
Thank
how
you.
it's going to work. Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other questions from Brian? All right, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I'm gonna take a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No, we're ready to go.
Okay,
All right,
and
thank you.
meeting adjourned at 6:30.